The old man moved swiftly through the small, dimly lit restaurant, balancing a tray of steaming coffee cups. His hands were rough, not from age but from decades of hard work. His back was slightly hunched, his eyes tired yet determined. He had spent most of his life here, waiting tables, cleaning dishes, and serving customers with a quiet dignity. One afternoon, the restaurant door swung open and a well-dressed man walked in. He was tall, wearing a sleek navy blue suit, his hair perfectly styled, and a luxury watch glinting under the dim light. But what stood out the most was that he was Jeff Bezos. The waiter quickly approached with a menu in hand. Bezos glanced at it briefly before looking around the restaurant with a nostalgic smile, his fingers tracing the edge of the table as if trying to relive a forgotten memory. "How long has this place been here?" The waiter hesitated for a moment before replying, his voice carrying the weight of years. 40 years. I've been here since the beginning." Jeff Bezos nodded as if recalling a distant past, his smile tinged with something deeper. Perhaps regret, perhaps gratitude. "I know this place. I used to come here when I was younger. There was a waiter who always gave me an extra cup of coffee when I needed it most." The waiter's hands trembled slightly as he set down the menu. His breath caught in his throat. That waiter was me. For a moment, silence hung between them, heavier than words. The realization washed over Bezos. The man who had once shown him kindness was still here, still waiting tables, still carrying the weight of dreams left behind. The waiter smiled, but there was a deep sadness behind it, the kind that only time can carve into a man's face. "Wow, so you were that young man with big dreams? You made it, and I'm still here." Bezos exhaled slowly, his gaze fixed on the man before him. "But why? I remember you telling me you had a dream of opening your own restaurant. What happened?" The waiter's eyes clouded over, staring past Bezos as if looking back at a life that had slipped through his fingers. "Life happened, Mr. Bezos. Things don't always go as planned. You push dreams aside, thinking you'll get back to them, but time doesn't wait." Bezos could hear the resignation in his voice. This was a man who had given up, not because he lacked ambition, but because the world had never given him a second chance. The man who once believed in dreams had been forced to settle for survival. The waiter let out a soft chuckle, but it was hollow, almost bittersweet. "But don't worry, dreams are for the young. I've made peace with my life." Bezos wasn't convinced. His fingers tapped lightly on the table, a sign that an idea was already forming in his mind. "What if I told you it's never too late?" The waiter laughed, shaking his head. "Come on, Mr. Bezos. At my age?" Bezos leaned forward, a knowing smirk on his lips. "Yes, at any age." Bezos pulled out his phone and sent a few quick messages. Within minutes, the restaurant door swung open again, and a group of business associates entered. The waiter looked around, his forehead creasing in confusion. "What's going on?" Bezos' smile was warm but unwavering. "I love this place. It holds memories for me. And you gave me something when I had nothing. Now it's my turn." The waiter's lips parted in disbelief. "Mr. Bezos, you don't have to do this. I was just doing my job." Bezos leaned in slightly, his tone firm yet filled with sincerity. "And now I'm doing mine. I'm investing in this restaurant. We're renovating it, upgrading it, and making it the best spot in town. And you're not just a waiter anymore. You'll own it." Tears welled up in the waiter's eyes, slipping down his weathered cheeks. For the first time in decades, he allowed himself to believe in something bigger than routine, something beyond just getting by. You're serious?" Bezos nodded. 40 years ago, a small act of kindness changed my world. Now I want to do the same for you." Months later, the restaurant was unrecognizable. The walls gleamed with fresh paint, the aroma of gourmet cuisine filled the air, and the place was alive with laughter and conversation. It had become one of the most sought-after dining spots in the city, and at the heart of it all stood the man who had once thought his dreams were over. He wasn't just serving tables anymore. He was welcoming guests into his own restaurant. Jeff Bezos, the billionaire, had repaid a debt that was never expected to be returned, and in doing so, he had proved that no act of kindness is ever truly forgotten. And that brings us to the end of this story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video, Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications for more inspiring stories. Blast off!